Okay, so I have taken everything off the slide. We are doing a little reno project here on our motorhome. And I'm sweating so bad. It's hot here. So I'm starting with the slide. I have to rip up the carpet, and it looks ugly a little bit. So I decided to take out all the window casings, and I'm going to paint before I rip up this carpet. And I have to take down this next. That's my next job. Take that down. Okay. There's the slide with all everything taken out. It's finally clear. See, the whole point is the slide is our kids' room, essentially. We had, if you've watched any of our other videos, you know we built bunk beds and we put them right here. Well, our kids have grown. And so we want to make much, much better bunk beds with like curtains, really nice. And so we're going to build those with my brother, and they're going to go right here. And then Katie is in charge of actually building a new couch. She's going to custom make a couch that goes right there. We're going to have, these bunk beds are going to go all the way to the ceiling with no cat cupboards. The cupboards that were here were getting in the way. The bunk bed could only go so far. Like it couldn't go, sorry about the lack of focus. Jeez, can you work for me? Jeez. Yeah, let me record. There we go. Anyway, the bunk beds could only go so far because those cabinets stuck out, right? And now that the cabinets aren't there, we're gonna put big drawers underneath the bunk bed to make up for that cabinet space that we just lost. But my son, who sleeps on the top, will have much more headroom. We'll be able to install some lights up there. We're planning on putting a bookshelf right here, facing the bunk bed. So our kids' heads will be over here, and their feet will actually be up against the bookshelves or next to them, and they can see all their books and use them. The storage will be underneath. The couch will have storage underneath that Katie's making, and it will also have larger cabinets or cabinets above that stick out real far. We got rid of the ugly window dressings that were dated. The ugly window dressings were original with this coach. This coach is 20 years old. It's a killer motorhome. I mean, it was a really nice one in its day. I still actually have the papers from when it was first bought, and it cost $175,000, the lady who bought it. And it was top of the line, really fantastic motorhome. That's 20 years ago. The engine is great and runs beautifully. And it's a diesel, has less than 100,000 miles on it, and we're gonna make it run 1,000,000 miles. But the interior now needs the work, so that's what we're remodeling. So we're gonna have some little curtains right here underneath. I'm gonna build a little shelf that sticks out, so we can put some potted plants on it. Katie really wants some potted plants. We have a lot of electrical here. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do with it. I would personally really like to have some nice lighting up above the kids' bunk beds, so they can flip a little switch and the lights will actually turn on inside their own bunk. Kind of twinkle lights that are nice. We should definitely have some lighting up here above, maybe something that looks kind of like recessed lighting, or maybe even something funky. We really want something funky, so that's what we're doing with the slide. The next job actually is to paint it, and then I'm gonna rip out this carpet and see what's underneath. We're replacing the carpet throughout, and we got some really funky stuff, man. This place is gonna look like a hippie house. It's gonna be great. But first, before I pull the carpet out, I need to paint this thing. And I'm done for the night, but I'm a little worried because there was some water damage here, and there's some water damage over here. I'm also pulling out this decorative stuff. I haven't pulled this one out yet, but I pulled this one out, and we're gonna replace it with something cool. We're actually thinking like family pictures that are kind of lined up perfectly all the way through of our trips and our travels. But I'm worried about a little bit of water damage. This is the bottom part of the bunk bed right there. As you can see, it's only been in there a year. It got pulled out, but it was rusted. And I don't know where the water came from. So I need to look and make sure everything's sealed up on the exterior. I don't think it's a big deal because I don't think there's a lot of water damage. The last people put this, this stuff in, fake wainscoting here in. And they liked it. They thought it looked cute because here's where they actually had their table and chairs. And I'm wondering if it's hiding a little bit of water damage. But if it is, I'll see it when I pull up the carpet here. And I'll be able to seal it up and make it beautiful. Alright, got my paint. Got my stuff taped off. I just wanted to show you what kind of paint I'm using. We used this on our last, the last house, the house we sold shortly ago. This Valspar Reserve from Lowe's. It's a paint and primer in one, and it was just so good. So good. You can just basically use one coat. So that's what I'm using on this. And when you're renovating, if you're gonna paint, a lot of these motorhomes come with this old wallpaper. A lot of motorhomes come with this just wallpaper that gets it's just, nobody wants it. You know, it's gross. But it's easy to paint over. You can paint right on top of this stuff. No problem. You don't gotta strip the wallpaper off. So I'm gonna paint right over the top of it. In fact, it has a little bit of a texture to it, so it'll actually make it look even better, I think, in my opinion. And I'm gonna paint right over the front top of the wainscoting too, because we want to keep that. And we'll see how it takes. I didn't sand it down or anything, but I think it's made to be painted, and it wasn't painted. So, all right. Well, I decided to pull the carpet back away from the wall all the way around, so that I could actually paint all the way to the base. And I found out a few things. This carpet has never been changed. Never. Not one time. It's been here for 20 years. You know how I know it's been here since the beginning of this motorhome? They put it down before they put in the drywall. So the carpet is literally underneath the drywall here. And that wouldn't be a problem if I can get underneath it and pull the whole thing up. But the carpet is so old, it just rips in strips. I mean, you just with your hands, you can just rip it. So I'm having to rip it away from the edge, which is leaving a big, it's leaving like strips like this. And then I have to go through and like yank it out, you know, kind of like this, and pull it out of there. Also, this thing has zero insulation and it has no padding. There's no padding underneath this carpet, so we're gonna make an improvement on that. And put down some insulation and put down some carpet pad, and then put down the carpet, and hopefully make a nice improvement here. But it's going to be a lot of work getting this carpet out. I wonder if it's going to be the same throughout, because I'm going to replace all the carpet. Alright, well, the carpet's even deeper than I thought. They put the carpet down before they even put the walls up. So this carpet goes all the way back. So I had to cut it with a knife around the edges, and it's even then it's difficult to get out. The good news is there's no water damage to the plywood down there, to the base. So that's great. I can just vacuum and clean it up, and it's gonna be fantastic. I'll put down a little strip, a little wood strip that'll look decorative around the edge. That'll cover the old carpet, and it'll give the carpenter something to work with to tuck the carpet under. So that'll be okay. Anyway, it's gonna be beautiful. I'm just really, I thought we were gonna have some water damage over here on the edge of the slide, but there's nothing. It looks beautiful. This is gonna be great. I decided not to paint yet. I gotta take this carpet off. But also our ceiling is kind of a carpeted ceiling. And it exists over here too, but over here it looks nice. On our slide, there's at some point some water came up there in before we owned it, so it looks kind of ugly. I've decided I'm gonna take this down right now as well. And I'll put something else up, maybe something decorative and cool. Yeah, I'll put something else up there. I'm gonna take that down right now. Okay, it's painted. That Valspar paint went on pretty nice. It's a paint and primer in one, Valspar Reserve. It goes right over the top of the wallpaper. It even went right over the top of the wainscoting. I had to put some, I did 2 coats, and it looks great. It looks really great, man. It's way better than it did before. I'm pumped. I took down the ceiling there, and I don't see any signs that there's been any recent leaking at all. So I'm gonna get some kind of cool designer outdoor carpet and put it up there. We got the carpeting we picked out is pretty funky, so I gotta make sure that it's not doesn't clash too much with that. But it was glued up to the top. This stuff is actually glued up so that it doesn't sag over time. You can feel the glue when you feel it, and it actually wasn't stapled hardly anywhere. It was just tucked up really underneath, and so I'm gonna have to. I can't get it the new stuff tucked back up there. I'm gonna have to staple it in. So I'll glue and staple it. It's not gonna be as easy as I'm probably thinking right now, because, you know, getting it perfectly flat, I might have to use like a putty knife or something, or some sort of troweling tool to get it stuck to the top. Anyway, it's gonna be a pretty cool thing. The paint dried pretty quick. Kind of a warm day and I'm sweating like crazy. I gotta go and clean around the windows because they're a little dirty and I don't want them getting on the paint. I probably should have done that beforehand. But overall I'm pretty happy with it. The only imperfections you see are actually from the wallpaper. You know, there's nothing I can really do about that. And then holes that people put in it, or we put in, or whoever put in it over time. And I puttied those, but it's like a splintering. It's pretty ugly. It doesn't matter though too much because it's going to be hidden behind the bunk beds that we're building, and but most of this wall is going to be hidden. That's going to be hidden behind cabinets that we're building. Weirdly enough, although we're going to have very cool bunk beds, I mean they're going to be so cool, and although I know that Katie's going to design the coolest couch for right here, and we're going to have this super funky carpet, I'm most excited about this little place to put plants here. I just think it's going to be cute. I haven't decided what lighting I'm going to put up here yet. I'm probably going to go to IKEA and find something funky. All right, so that's painting.